Lord of the Rings, the road is hard, the road is long, it's red years on. The elves and dwarves and a ring to lead the rings of Erebor. They must throw it into Mordor to destroy it and end Sauron's threat. They're Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli, Pippin, Merry, Samwise Gamgee and Frodo. They will go to complete this quest. Apologies for the bad singing. Look, this is Lord of the Rings. You know what this is, okay? It's walking. It's fighting. It's 4 characters dying. It's actually quite a dull story when you think about it. Because the essential plot amounts to... The essential plot is walk somewhere, destroy something, defend people. And yet it's brilliant. I should explain. I was ill. My sleeping pattern was fucked up, and I was just kind of like my every waking moment was tired, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't work, but I wanted to. So I thought, right, what can I do? I can listen, and I can understand concepts. I shall tick off one of the pieces of work I need to do for my uni. I will listen to the complete, unabridged Lord of the Rings. And did you know Lord of the Rings is a fucking musical? It is! It is! The massive, bloody long book is a sodden musical. I mean, yeah, at some parts it was weird. At some parts I kind of glazed over because, okay, I don't know why you're singing, sod this. But there were moments where it was genuinely moving and genuinely effective, like Boromir, okay? In the film, he's played by Sean Bean, so he's just cool, because he is, one does not simply walk into trope. But in the book, he's the shifty guy. He is, you will give me the fucking ring, Frodo. Yes, you will, won't you, Frodo? I want your fucking ring, Frodo. Give me it, Frodo. I want your ring, Frodo. And many a slash fiction was had. But seriously, he's just a creepy guy who wants Frodo's ring. And oh my god, why did I insinuate that was a pun? Images. Oh, I do not like those images. But anyway, he's a creepy guy. And so, when he dies, don't really care. I mean, apart from anything else, I know he's going to die, because it's happened. It's happened. You know, I've seen things, popular culture, shit. So, it wasn't a surprise, and he was an unlikable character, so I thought, oh, this is going to be like when Matt Hooper dies in Jaws, where I was like, yeah, the film's better because they had the character being fucking likable. But in the book of Lord of the Rings, even though the character is a dick, Legolas and Aragorn sing eulogies about him. This guy that they've known for, okay, for them it would have been bloody ages, because they had to walk a fucking long way, but it's a tiny amount of the plot. But the singing about Boromir, it genuinely fucking moved me. I was genuinely like, Ramanecking. This is, wow. But no, so I was listening to this while it ran. By the way, getting Lord of the Rings on audiobook, really expensive, because each part is £10, and there are 3 books, and each book is split up into 2 parts. £60! £60 because I couldn't be asked to read a freaking long book, but it was worth it. Maybe. Because the voice, the guy who does the audiobook is brilliant, and the singing it's kind of like focusing, but there's real, it's really good. It is really good. And the world building. To be honest, the world building is why I knew I would have to tackle Tolkien and Lord of the Rings at some point. Because I knew that he's like the best guy. He founded fantasy. His world building is going to be stellar. And yeah, it is. It's like reading Neuromancer because it founded cyberpunk, and then reading it and going, yeah, it does found cyberpunk. It's just brilliant. I just, but what astounded me is the kind of the little details, like, I mean, it seems obvious in retrospect, but the fact that this is in some ways like an adaptation of Macbeth, in the sense that you have the trees and stuff, and you have the trees and Eowyn, which are literally kind of him saying, I was always annoyed when the trees didn't literally rise up against Macbeth, and I was always annoyed when he wasn't just killed by a woman. Whereas here, it's brilliant, and it's so much more brilliant for what we don't have, if I can speak. Here, Tolkien's work is so much more brilliant for what he doesn't explain and what he doesn't show as for what is. Okay? I love the fact that essentially Aragorn's kind of entire reason for doing this, well, not his entire reason obviously, but a key part of his motivation for overthrowing Sauron is, then I can get with my lovely fiancée. And that's literally just implied. It's just kind of like, oh, here's a character referred to earlier, and then they turn up at the end, and it's like, yay, you can get married now. But I like that because it is just, this is a really big world, and kind of, okay, you've got the Fellowship, who are right smack bang in the centre of it, but it is really told from the Hobbit's perspective, from our perspective, as, you know, everyman people who don't know a lot about it. And so it makes sense that we don't know everything about Aragorn's life. We don't know everything about this, and it's, and you know, even down to like Tom Bombadil and stuff, or like Radagast. People are angry because it's like, but we don't see what happens to Radagast, and Tom Bombadil has no impact on the plot. No, but you know, there's a big world going on here. Kind of, Sauron's got a lot of armies, you know. 9 characters aren't gonna keep his attention occupied for long. Okay, so yeah, we happen to have, you know, we happen to have the Rides of the Rohirrim and the and the King of Gondor. You know, we happen to have some pretty major main characters who can influence the world a large amount, but at the same time, Sauron's been working at this for an awful long time. I'm betting that he's got other things going on. It's not just limited to what we see here. What we see is essentially, it's the main plot. That's the way to look at it. It's kind of, what we see in the Lord of the Rings is the I think key heart of Dissecting Worlds, and Clarky the Cruel said it best. It's delivering the briefcase nuke to the enemy's capital. It's we're seeing the kind of, we're seeing the briefcase nuke being delivered, and the distraction being created that ends up allowing the briefcase nuke to go off where it needs to. But while this is going on, I'm betting that, you know, that Radagast and the other wizards and Tom Bombadil are having their own battles that we don't know about, because they aren't relevant to the plot at hand, but they are still essentially people fighting to protect the land, you know. Like, Tom Bombadil basically just cares about his small plot of land and stuff. But there are gonna be, like, evil stuff walking through there or whatever, and he's gonna take interest. Similarly, like Radagast, he's gonna be busy defending the countryside and stuff, and there's all this stuff that we don't see. That's what I think anyway, and I think that's borne out from the fact that there is a fuck ton of appendices, which I don't have because it's the audiobook, but I want to get them. I essentially just want to buy the appendices and just go through them and go, oh, right, yeah. But it is so well done because we see so much. We see an awful lot, and we see brilliant characters, and we see this plot going out in almost real time, in the sense that this is, well, not real time, but it feels like it takes an age. You know, by the time the book ended, and the characters, I mean, especially by the time the book actually ends, because the plot of, like, you know, destroying the ring, destroying Sauron, that genuinely is just 3/4 of the last audiobook. It's just like, and now we've got 4 hours to do the ending. And yeah, okay, you've got the scouring of the Shire, but there's also just, it's not a simple, and then they lived happily ever after. It's, okay, so there are ramifications of this. Because, you know, Frodo's had his soul eaten away by the ring, and he's got to go away now. And Sam, who fought tooth and nail to protect Frodo, has to leave him, and it's heartbreaking. But what makes it so heartbreaking is that it's been days, genuinely days, listening to the audiobook, and it's been like years and years and decades and stuff in terms of story time. And so it's such a wide expanse of stuff covered, and it's a satisfying amount, almost too much, because you can, I think, legitimately just say, you know what, the Eagles have arrived, Frodo and Sam, they've woken up, or you can almost vary it. If you wanted, you could end the book at the Eagles arrive, or you could end it at they get crowned king, or you could end it at, you know, at Aragorn being crowned king, or you could end it at them being, you could end it at them just before they return to the Shire and realise how bad it is, or you could end it after they restore the Shire. There are, like life, there isn't just one ending point. And that's brilliant. And that is so inspirational. And I do think that what I am now going to have to do after I leave university is just go away and work at this. Just literally, like, just churn out my stuff and build a world and go, okay, how much of this do I want to encompass in a novel if I do a novel, or whatever? Because, blimey. I mean, I am the Anti-Critic. I support it so others can riff it. I'm not supposed to like the sacred cows. I am supposed to be slaughtering the sacred cows and say, no, that which you proclaim is good, I proclaim is bad. That which you proclaim is evil, I proclaim is good. I'm supposed to be that. That is my character. But I can't. Because Lord of the Rings, while it is long, while it is bloated, while some of the characters are fucking weird, while some of the text is a bit, it's fucking weird, and while some of the description is overlong or kind of bizarrely innocent of how bloody slashy it is, it's just a fantastic piece of world building. And it's fantastic characters, and I am going to get the Silmarillion, and I am going to get the appendices, and yeah, consider me a fully paid up member of the Tolkien fan club.